morning, Massoud.
Good morning.
Mahmud.
How are you doing?
Welcome to Empoder Alive.
Gracias, Massoud. Buenos días y
It's
bienvenido
an
a
honor
Empoder
for
Alive.
us to have you
Es un honor
here.
para nosotros tenerles aquí.
Please, come with me.
Por favor, vengan.
Both of you in this seat,
Los dos.
in the left,
Podéis
in
sentar
the
aquí.
middle. So,
Bueno,
comfortable?
Yes.
Very
cómodos.
comfortable.
Sí, muy cómodos.
Good morning to everybody. Welcome to Empoder Alive. Welcome to the children who see us in the streaming from Kabul, from Afghanistan, from a lot of countries in all the world. A lot of children, like children were Massoud, Mahmud, 25 years ago in the streets of Kabul. You were happy, smiling children. Your parents were, your mother was an engineer, your father was a scientist working for government. You had a good quality of life. You play in the streets with your friends, but one rainy morning in the winter, soldiers arrived to Kabul. They start shooting people, they start putting landmines in the fields, and your life changed. Your life changed because one day one of your friends didn't came to home. He was killed by a landmine. Another day, one of your cousins was killed by a landmine. Another day, one family lost a leg. Another day, one familiar lost a hand, and your life changed forever. One day, your father was killed by a bomb. 25 years ago, your childhood changed for worse forever. And now, 25 years after, you made real a dream. The dream that the children could play again, safety and happy in the streets of Kabul and in any other town in the world. We are now to see a brief video which tells your amazing story. Please.
Massoud y Mahmud Hassani pasaron su infancia en Kabul. Perdieron a algunos de sus amigos por las minas terrestres. Tras refugiarse en Holanda, desarrollaron Kafon. Concebido como un proyecto más artístico que funcional, ha evolucionado en un dron completamente operativo programado para localizar y neutralizar minas terrestres. Un método más barato, rápido y seguro que los actuales y que ha ganado el interés de países afectados, como su Afganistán natal.
Welcome, Hassani brothers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
I know that you was forced to move from Afghanistan. You moved to Pakistan first,
Yes.
then to Uzbekistan, and then you achieved to become refugees in Holland.
Yeah. So, thank you very much for inviting us, first of all. It's an honor to be here. My first time in Spain and also in Malaga. It's beautiful. The weather is amazing. And so me and Massoud, we were born in Afghanistan and we grew up in the Netherlands. And in the 90s, when the war became more and more and the life became dangerous, my mother decided to leave Afghanistan. So we immigrated to countries like Pakistan and then to Uzbekistan. So eventually it took us like 6 years to arrive in the Netherlands. So we arrived in the Netherlands and Massoud arrived in the 1998. And then I arrived in 2000 because Massoud came to Holland on his own and I came with my mother and two sisters. We were accepted as refugees. Then we became Dutch citizens. So now, we are, I don't know to say Dutch Afghans or Afghan Dutch. We have the both cultures and and nationalities. So, yeah, and that was also an inspiration for us to do something back for Afghanistan. Because back in Kabul, me and Massoud, we were also like making things belong to our daily lives, and playing with, our own made toys with other children in Kabul. But the playgrounds, there were a lot of landmines. So, and the problem of landmines is undermined and a silent problem. So, yeah, and we want to change that. And, yeah.
For me, it's remarkable that you are not politicians, neither activists. You are, first of all, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
When Massoud was 8 years old, you start selling cigarettes in the streets because it was the need for generate incomes.
I saw a lot of things.
I know both of you have made a lot of things. Last night I asked you for the worst job in your life, and there were a lot of jobs, and working in the fields, working with the cows, working with carrots. I have a lot of images in my head. But anyway, you always were entrepreneurs. You always want to work, to make efforts, to improve yourselves, and after improve the world.
Yeah.
In Netherlands, you had the resources, educational resources, and environmental resources to make it possible. What did you study in Netherlands?
I studied marketing and communication.
Yes.
And Massoud?
My study was, so in Netherlands, when I came to the Netherlands, I was 14 years old. And before you go to Dutch school, you have to learn the language. So first I started doing different education, and at the end I did design academy, so it's more art academy. And so it was a long way to do different type of studies.
Of course. In any way, at this time, for me, you are industrial designer.
Yeah.
That is like an engineer in concepts.
Yeah.
You make concepts, and you have a lot of people, a lot of engineers and developers that work to make it real. And Mahmud worked to sell it to the market, to reach the customs, and to make it profitable.
Yeah.
What was your first company, your first project profitable in Netherlands? Which
So
one?
the first, our project, or Kafon, started as a graduation project from my school.
Yes.
So I did an art project to raise awareness. And it went, so the first presentation was in Milan before my graduation. So when I made this huge ball, we will see later a movie about it. And it was meant to raise awareness about the global landmine problem. At the same time, it became also a kind of business because we were exhibiting a lot of times. And it was, we exhibited that much that it became from a graduation project into an art piece. And then MoMA in New York, they acquired it as first. So then they put their stamp that it is actually an art project. And then, so that was our back then Mahmud was not involved yet. So that was the start of a company kind of thing. Because I was already earning because of presentations, exhibitions, and all these kind of things. And but later, after a few years, 2 years, and then I thought it's good to have a team because you want to grow and so on. And then in the same time, because the project was a lot in the media, so you read comments online. So it's very easy nowadays on Facebook or other social medias. And also when there's a publication, people can comment below it. And a lot of people asked, So this project, it's very random. It's an art, you know. It's not going to clear all the landmines and so on. So this is not the ideal thing. So then I thought, okay, maybe it's a good thing to also make a real product to destroy, for example, landmines. And then, so that was the start.
Of course, the landmines are one of the main problems in safety in the world. It's logical that media paid attention to your project. Why do you think there is no another project like yours?
I think it's also personal based. It's a personal project, and as you mentioned in the beginning, it's so where we grew up. This was in our environment. So before in Malaga, you grew up with fish and sea. So that's in your nature. So in our nature was not the nice things, but also nice things. I mean, we had mountains there. It was always windy. As kids, you go play outside. You don't care about anything. You don't really care about the war because we were born in the war. So for us, it's very normal at that time. But when we think now back about it, so it's a nightmare. You know? Even now, we don't dare to go back to Afghanistan because it's very it's unstable. But as kids, it's very normal. So yeah, and that was the main power to do something, right? Mm-hmm. So I think, and especially my school, they kind of educate you to get the inspirations from your life, to learn yourself, to go very deep in your own shoe and see who you are, and that helped me a lot to discover these kind of things, because we made them, like we played around and we made our own toys as other kids. I assume all kids, they make their own toys, but in our case it was also a dangerous location. So that was one of the inspiration resources. And then, because I need to make a project, I combined all my inspirations from the childhood, and then and visualized it with a big object.
Many people in Europe may think that the problem of the landmines is a problem outside of here, is a small problem, but it's not a small problem. No. How many landmines are in the world?
There's about 110 million landmines worldwide.
110 million
landmines. And it's according to the UN, it's estimation. They don't know the exact numbers actually, because it's almost impossible to know the exact numbers. And there's every 22 minutes somebody is injured or killed by a landmine, and there's 60 countries which are affected, like Afghanistan being one of the biggest, like Angola, Colombia, Vietnam.
60 countries with kids being injured every day by these landmines. Yeah. What kind of injuries are more common?
So it's the landmines are made to injure people with talk. And so the problem they have also noticed is once they are below the ground, they can stay for 50 years good quality, because mostly they are made from plastic and there are a metal suspension inside it which can work. And so that is also difficult for them to take them out. So it's actually a trap for them. So that's why they don't want it anymore. Even in real war zones, they don't want to use them anymore.
Last week here in Europe, there was a headline about a bomb found in Frankfurt, and it was very sensitive. Yeah. Every people in Europe was scared because there was a bomb still with risk of exploding in Frankfurt. Is that story? What feelings do you have with this story?
Yeah, it's hard to see. Also, but those are like old big bombs, you know. So they are quite frequently in Europe. I've seen recently a movie which is called Land of Mine. It's a Danish movie about landmines in Denmark, which the German soldiers put there, and then they had to take them out with bare hands. It was very difficult for me to see them because, these things can anytime explode, you know. So we have, of course, since we are doing a lot of research about it, so it's very sensitive for us. But at the same time, we are also having a lot of fun to make different projects, you know. So we enjoy making art pieces to raise awareness, and we enjoy to make robotics, which are a lot of technology involved, and we work with the international team. And maybe we can also see the first project, and also the audience know what we are talking about. So the project which is started with, and this is to raise awareness. And we have published this, a few years ago online, and this went viral on Vimeo, and it was picked up by a lot of news channels because it was something, I don't know, yeah, you can see it yourself.
Let's see the video, please.
Yeah.
My name is Massoud Hassani. I was born in Afghanistan. We lived on the outskirts of Kabul on the edge of a desert. Back then, there were many militaries from foreign countries who would train there with guns and explosives. When they went home, they left lots of explosives and mines behind. My brother and I would make wind-powered toys and would race them against the other children. We made many different designs using cheap materials that we found. So this very windy desert became our playground. Most people who live in Kabul will know somebody who has been hurt or killed by a landmine. After the loss of my father, my mother felt it would be too dangerous for me to stay, so she smuggled us out. After 4 years of traveling, I arrived in the Netherlands. I was accepted as a refugee. Now, as an adult, working as a product designer, I use my background to inspire my projects. It has been calculated that it costs about $1,200 to clear a single landmine. So I designed a prototype that I hope to realize in places like Afghanistan. The total cost of its material is about 40 euros. It It moves using the power of the wind. When it rolls over an anti-personnel landmine, it's heavy enough to detonate the explosive. With each detonation, the mine Kafon loses just 1 or 2 legs. Therefore, it could potentially destroy 3 to 4 landmines in one journey. My ideal scenario would be to provide it for local people as a tool to cheaply survey this danger in their own environment.
So your project is running out. You started 4 years ago. You, of course, you needed funding, and you started with crowdfunding. Tell me how much money did you get by now, and where did that money comes from?
So we, first of all, we had the microphone, and there was a lot of media attention, and then we wanted to further develop the product, and to do that we needed finance, and there's a couple of possibilities, of course, to have finance. There's investors or subsidies, which can take long, you know. So we decided to do crowdfunding, and it was the first time we did a crowdfunding back in 2012. We had to put up a company in London because it wasn't possible to do it in Holland back then. And yeah, we raised up about 140,000 euros. And we used that funding actually to finance our activities and and to put up a team, to put up a company, and to start actually all our entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Of course, you have identified a problem, a big problem in all the world. Yeah. The next step is to identify your clients, your customers. Who are your customers?
Our customers would be NGOs who work on the minefields, who operates on the minefields, or governments, defense, and that will be our main customers right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you have allies in your project?
Yes, we have the Dutch defense. They're a good ally. We can test with them a lot. They're advisors as well, and we have also some international demining organizations whom we work with. Yeah, so that's the allies we have. Yeah.
Your project is a company which could be profitable, which could make profits. So any investor could be interested in be a big investor in your project. Did you try to get to venture capital or something so?
Yeah, there's several investors interested. But the thing is, we need to decide what is good for our project and the future of the project. So we are on a stage that we are attracting investors, yeah. Mm-hmm. Because we did also last year, 2016, our second Kickstarter campaign, and that one was for the drone we are making right now. Mm-hmm. And the investors are interested in the drone to develop that and to bring it to the market and to produce.
Yeah, because the first project we have seen now, this was just to raise awareness. Yeah. It's an art project. It's not to sell to defense or demining organization. The movie we have seen, it's to visualize the impact of a landmine, to visualize the global problem around it. So it's actually, we are creating a buzz about this problem.
Yeah, because the thing is, we thought also, like, after the death of Princess Diana, as she was an ambassador for landmine problems, there was not much media attention for that. And we have reached with Kafon, with the video you have seen, we have reached millions around the world through exhibitions, through lectures, through interviews. And then, of course, we started our second project, which was the drone project. Yeah.
And so the main goal at this point,
Yes.
at this moment, is to how can we destroy all the landmines and destroy them and clear the land in 10 years' time, because there are about 110 million landmines, and if we use the traditional technologies that they use, a handheld metal detector, so a person walks around step by step, and then they control the ground, and then pinpoint it with a flag. So this process can take more than 1,100 years, so more than a millennium if we go in the same speed. But in the same time, there will be more wars and more affected areas, so this is a kind of endless game. And so what we want now is to reduce everything and use also the modern technology.
I am very interested in your technology, how it works, how your drones can detect the mine.
Maybe we can watch the second movie.
Okay.
And then the audience will have more...
Okay, let's play the second movie, please.
What we did before, and then it goes back to our new inventions. My name is Massoud.
The first movie.
That was the first one. Let's search the second one. Massoud, what are we going to see in the second one?
In the second one, currently we are developing drone technologies, which work in 3 steps. And so our main target is now how can we map a whole area as fast as possible, and then detect the landmines and then destroy them. So that's these 3 steps we are doing now with a drone.
If that works, you are a genius.
If that works, we will be also very happy.
Okay, let's see the second video.
Every single day on this planet, someone is injured or killed by a landmine. Removing them is very time-consuming and dangerous. Millions of landmines litter the landscapes of the war-torn countries around the world. My name is Massoud Hassani, and I want to change this. Our mission is to solve the landmine problems within 10 years. In 2012, we have launched our first Kickstarter campaign. It is called the Kafon. A low-cost wind-powered anti-landmine detonator. It rolls along on a desert. When it hits a landmine, it blows itself up and it destroys the landmine in the same time. After 3 years of hard work, we brought our mission to the next level. Now we are very excited to introduce you our newest robotic invention, the Kafon drone. It is an airborne demining system which aims to reduce landmines in less than 10 years globally. Kafon drone flies above a dangerous area. It generates a 3D map. Then it detects landmines with a metal detector and GPS coordinates. The drone has a robotic arm which places detonators on top of a landmine and blows them up from a safe distance. These 3 methodologies combined makes the Kafon drones up to 20 times faster than the traditional technologies. It is safer and up to 200 times cheaper. Imagine if we could fly with hundreds of Kafon drones all over the affected landscapes worldwide and free the world from landmines. Now it's our final goal to bring the Kafon drones to a pilot in order to be able to test them on different environments and weather conditions. This is needed to prove and show to the demining organizations that the Kafon drone is faster, cheaper and safer than the existing technologies. With such a disruptive approach, we could save thousands of lives. need your support to make this happen. Please join our campaign and let's have a landmine-free world, because one less landmine means one saved life. We are looking forward to collaborate with you on this project.
Massoud, I saw that you say that it may be 200 more cheaper than actually technologies. And how much money is it? Is it more or less than the leg of your cousin?
It's, you mean?
Yes, I mean, how much money are we talking about? What's the cost of the drone?
So usually a metal detector only, it costs about 15,000 euros. And a person is walking around with it. And so the detector plus the cost of a person who walks around. It's on daily basis, it's about $1,200 to find a landmine costs about $1,200. And so these drones, they start from 10,000 euro, but so that's an R&D type, and you can add more robots to it. And so in theory, they are, so the competitor of such drone are the land robots that they sell right now. Those robots, they start from 70,000 up to 500,000. And those are the small tanks that small tanks with a robot arm on top of it, and there's someone who is controlling it. And these small tanks, they can't go very far, and if there's a lot of grass, they will get stuck and so on. So, and they are still attached to the land. And and they're also very slow because there's a small kind of toy you play around with it. And they're very expensive. And these drones we use, so we are using a lot of open source technologies that people already have. There's a lot of innovation in it already. So thousands of people, they have tried to solve the same problem first. And now we are taking those innovations and then improving it. Mm-hmm. And then we write our own codes to improve it. And then at the end, we can also make our own products out of them, like closed systems, because most governments or militaries, they don't want to use open systems. So at the end, we use the knowledge which is already available. So that gives a fast push. Then we don't have to invent the wheel all over again. And the drone technology is very new. We're talking about small aerial vehicles. It's a new innovation, but a lot of people, they don't know how to use it. And there's a lot of regulation, especially in the Netherlands. You're not allowed to fly, especially when it's above 10 kilograms. You need a pilot license, which is similar to the normal helicopter piloting.
Understood.
So
it's not needed to be an engineer to manage this tool.
You don't need to be an engineer. No, you have to have the idea first, and then also talk about the idea, and then get people who are interested in the project. Mm-hmm. So it's like a crowdsourcing. So we did crowdfunding to get our money. We did crowdsourcing to find our team. So they are coming. It's a small team, about 15 people, and they're coming from all over the world.
I know that your team are 15 people, but not any 15 people. You recruited talent all over the world.
Yeah,
so how many nationalities do you have in your team?
We have Chinese, we have from Uruguay, from Greece, from Turkey, from Holland, of course, from Germany, Canada,
India,
and we have Belgium, and
we have two,
UK.
Including
two
UK.
Dutch people.
Yeah.
We are based in Netherlands.
Two Dutch people,
Only
incredible.
Yeah,
that's us. No, but also...
yeah, we have also Dutch.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank
we
you.
have only a few minutes left, but I want to know in which moment your project is now. You have the prototype working?
Yes, this video is from last year. to 2016, end of last year. So now we are in a really, also our office is much nicer than before.
Beautiful.
So it's 150 square meters with space to work, nice and clean. And our first mapping drone is now finally almost finished. So it can go in production in, we expect a few months, 3 to 4 months. And the drone we are making now, it's one of a kind because it's super accurate. So the GPS accuracy is up to 1 centimeter. The normal GPS, it's up to 5 or 4 meters. And so our system uses RTK. So you have 2 types of GPS on the ground and on the drone. And they're combined with each other, with also with a telemetry antenna. And so this drone can go in production very soon. And we are using also avoiding sensors. We are using autopilot, all this. And so there's also, again, no competition with such a drone because DJI drones and all the other drones, they use sensors for avoidance, for example, but they don't have the RTK implementation or a good autopilot. So this is now our first final product. We haven't showed it to anyone yet. We will send you some footage once it's published.
Best of the cases, when could be the first landmines be destroyed with your technology?
We expect also in less than 6 months, maybe. We are already we are in touch with several countries, like in Egypt and Colombia, and also we are now in touch. We were always in touch with the Dutch defense, but it's getting in a higher position every time. So now we have availability of a really big field with an airspace that we can test. So that's very crucial because drones are hard to test anywhere. We do it illegally, but it's on our own risk.
Of course, I'm sure you still need more funding, more money. I think you have invested by now about 500.
We invested, so we earned with Kickstarter.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was a little bit, and then we earn our own earnings. So it's completely self-funded. We are independent. We also never had governmental fundings or any other investors. But now we're in a stage that we want to grow because there's a lot of talent that they want to join us. And for that, we need more investment. So which is now also very interesting, venture capital is very interesting because they have big budgets and you can grow probably faster. We have no experience with it yet, but it gives us a kind of good feeling because we are ready for that now.
Let me ask, isn't the public any representative of the venture capital? No?
But it's hard to find them.
But perhaps they have some question to make to you.
Yeah,
please,
sure.
This is your time. Make your questions. Harald?
Hi, thank you. It's very, very inspiring what you're both doing with regards to landmines. I have 2 questions. One, you said that you take open source technologies, but then when you use them, you close them. So you make them proprietary. So, of course, if the people who opened their technologies did that to begin with, you would not have anything to start from. So how do you feel about that in terms of your role in giving back to the commons and creating a healthy commons instead of resulting in possibly a tragedy?
Yeah. So we do share also the mapping and all this kind of things. Only the client product that they are using it will be closed because it's because of the safety issues. You don't want to be hacked and so on. And so the end product that we are selling, it's not open for the communities, but we do share our knowledge, so that's not a problem.
Right. So the second question, which kind of follows on from that, as you're looking to grow, is your mission to specifically stay with landmine clearing as the only thing that you're going to be doing, but as you're looking for investment, because of course a drone like this can be used for offensive purposes, it can be used for surveillance purposes, especially if militaries are involved in investing or venture capitalists. What is your view? Is it when you clear the landmines in 10 years' time, is that done?
No, no. So at the same time, especially we put a lot of priority to the small mapping drone, which has high accuracy and so on, because this one has a big market, so we can sell it also to agriculture and to police departments, firemen, ambulance, and all this kind of jobs. So that has a big application,
But our priority of our niche goal is first to develop them for the demining organizations. And then also we develop a really big drone which can carry up to 30 kilograms. So that's for transportation and for detection and robots. And we also recently start an enormous big drone also. So it goes states bigger. So the biggest drone that we are making, so the designs are there. So we can't present it yet because it's not ready yet, but the design of how it's going to look like and so on is already there, and the electronics. So this drone will carry 2 persons, and we are starting to probably build it once our middle-sized drone is done, which can carry up to 30 kilos, because you have to go step by step higher. So our vision up to 5 years is like this. So we make from small prototype, small drones, and manufacturing them, and then we go higher. And then also improving the life of batteries, because at the moment, many companies, they're using LiPo batteries. We are thinking of using hydrogen cell batteries, and also some drones that they hover over the ground and then they don't go too far. We can use electric cable, like there's special electric cable to just plug them, and they fly, and then just like that.
It was a very interesting question. Thank you, Aral. We have time only for one more question. In the 5th line.
First of all, your project is amazing. My question is, are you still looking for people for your team?
So our space, we can have only 15 at the moment. We are trying to. Mahmud wants to share his desk, so.
And now we are always like trying to fit.
So if we can have a new place in Malaga, could be also a possibility.
Yeah, a workshop here.
So I heard this is Silicon Valley of.
Mayor is happy to hear that.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Any last question? No, we need to finish now. Hassani brothers, you have the inspiration, you have the experience in your own childhood, you have the talent, the team all over the world, you are getting the funding, the money, and you are working to make it real in over 6 months. Yeah. So I desire to you all the success for you and for the children all over the world. Congratulations.